All right, folks, so I'm taking this video through a magnifying glass, so forgive the distortion and whatnot, but the point is to highlight this unique, what Staccato is calling a ruggedized and deliberate finish that's observed on the radius of the slide of the P4 HD. I just took possession of this gun last week, and when I filled out the Droz paperwork, I kind of right away felt like it was a little weird. I've never seen anything like this on a firearm, and certainly not at this price point. Now, Staccato claim that that is deliberate and that it's part of a ruggedized finish, which I might believe if it was consistent, but it's not. I've seen various examples of it look radically different on other guns. I would say mine is kind of like a medium case of this appearance, and there's also in the cocking serrations at the top there are some almost like pitting. There's a couple spots where the finish is given up, because you can see here too, because I don't think there's adequate secondary operations being done after these come out of the machine. I don't know, maybe they're just optimizing for volume, but I don't think the P's and the CS's look like this. I don't know what machining process you would do that would create these inconsistent wavy patterns. Now, everything else about the gun is pretty cool, with the exception of the safety. I absolutely hate it. It pinches the shit out of me every time I take it off a safe. I guess I'll adapt to it, because other than that, for a carry gun, I really like it. It's extremely tight. It's probably the second tightest gun in what is a pretty extensive collection. But I think the finish issue needs to be addressed, because this is a gun that, at least in California, is it's $3,300 out the door. It's $2,700 before tax, and I can grab any number of guns here that are infinitely cheaper. Here's a M&P Shield. I don't know, is this thing even $600? The radiuses of the slide don't have any weird variegated edges like that. Here's my carry gun. This is a mom says we have Spectre Comp at home. I could pull up, here's a Springfield TRP operator. Now, mind you, this is Cerakoted, I believe, but nevertheless, the finish is devoid of any weird lines or anything. We can go for just a full-blown Parkerized 1911 from Springfield. This camera just does not want to focus. Just none of that. Here's a SIG P229. None of that. Here's a 226 Elite. That's stainless, which is pretty hard material to work with. Just none of that. Here's a Glock with a Zev slide on it. Lots of machine work. No ruggedization. And then if you want to get into like expensive guns, here's a Atlas Athena. And I mean, no apologies made. By the way, the way that this safety is swept, this is a much better idea, because it doesn't create this like chopping block that serves up the meat of your thumb and forefinger to just get snapped every time you bring the safety down. But I don't know. No ruggedization here, huh? So I don't know. I'm going to leave it to the Staccato to make a determination. What they told me is that it's deliberate. It's the way that they intended it to be. They did say that maybe that whatever's going on here in these serrations, you can barely see it. There's like some sort of a... It looked worse because there was like oil on the gun and it was catching these it was catching. There you go. You kind of see there's like these little, I don't know what you would call it, gouges or inconsistencies. Maybe the tool's getting dull. I have no idea. They said that's not normal, but that the sides of the gun, that's deliberate and normal. And so to the extent that that's true, if they can't make that any better, I see absolutely no point sending this firearm back to them. But yeah, you can see here the safety thing is, you said the meat of your thumb and forefinger will get into that area and then it just gets smashed. Like, yeah, right there, it's pinch. Well, actually it's not doing it right now, but if you get a full master grip on the gun and then you come down, it grabs you, maybe 3 out of 5 times, and it's not a pleasant feeling, but it's not the end of the world. This is going to be a self-defense gun. Mostly it's not a range toy. I've got better guns for that. But yeah, that's what it is. And I just wanted to put a video out there so that people could see unambiguously what this this curious finish thing is on the slide. Let's see if we can get a better shot of it. Yeah. Hope that's not blowing out. Is it the end of the world? No, but I just have a hard time swallowing the claim that that's deliberate. Like, how do you make a pattern like that that's not perfectly repeating and then call it deliberate? It feels like either the part is vibrating while it's being machined, or the feed speed's too high, there's chatter, something like that. I'm no machinist. I took 4 years machine shop in high school, and when I saw stuff like this, it was usually because feeds and speeds were too high, too aggressive, or the tools were getting dull. And I think Staccato can afford to not reuse tools. There you go, or use tools till they're destroyed. There's those bits in the cocking serrations. They're on one side, but not the other. I don't know. You tell me. For $3,300 out the door in California, I was hoping for better, especially considering other lesser guns that have none of that at a fraction of the price. Cool. So in the interest of fairness, I wanted to take this outside and get you guys some video of how it looks in natural light. And I would say definitely in the non-issue territory. In fact, the whole gun has a bit of like a specular sort of finish to it, and you kind of get into that pattern. It's not the worst thing. I will say this to Staccato though, if this is something you're doing deliberately like you say you're doing it, I don't think most people like it. I think the people that say that it's cool, it's cope. They just spent $2,700, $3,000 plus on a handgun, and they don't want to admit that it's kind of staccato. It's not I don't consider it a feature. It looks too much like a thing that's not good, and you've just kind of created sort of pain and anguish for yourself in having to field all these questions about why does my gun look like that. And the other thing is, I've seen some other examples where it really looks bad, like twice as deep as this almost, and one had like a big streak through the whole thing. I don't know if it was from being put in and out of a holster or what, but it looked really bad. Here you go. I'm trying to deal with the shadows here. That's what you get.